So, steps on the way to fix damaged doorknob. One of the most well-known drywall fixtures happens when a door is swung open excessively strongly, and therefore the doorknob punches the niche through the drywall. Simplest approach to repair the opening is with the peel and stick repair patch. Peel and stick repair patch. The fix comprises an adhesive back aluminum screen that's reinforced by fiberglass mesh. Simply peel off the protective backing and press the patch over the opening. Next, utilize a 4 or 6-inch wide drywall stainless steel knife to use joint compound over the patch. Make sure to use enough pressure to move the compound through the mesh. After the compound dries, sand it gently and apply a second. Apply a thinner coat of compound, ensuring to increase it a couple of inches before the primary coat. Repeat a third and final time, then dry, sand lightly, then prime and paint. Steps on the way to fix repeat cracks. Vertical drywall cracks will regularly show up above and beneath windows and doors. These airline breaks are generally caused by blunder shrinkage and settling within the house outline. To repair the breaks, start by utilizing sanding sponge to sand the cracks smooth. After sanding, vacuum the crack to get rid of all dust and debris. Next, use a tire spatula to apply a thin coat of joint compound to the crack. Wait for it to dry, then sand it smooth. Repeat applying the second thin coat. To prevent the break from returning, especially fixed with slender coloring or vertical makes spread laugh aloud, for instance, with migrants.
In this video, I want to show you how to fix your very noisy stairs. If your stairs are anything like mine, they make noise as soon as you step around right here. This is caused by looseness right here where the riser contacts the tread. On my treads, there's a routed out area that the riser sits in. So when I press down on the tread, you can see it move slightly. and that rubbing is what creates that loud noise. The root cause is that there's nothing supporting the load right here in this area on the underside. I'm going to show you now. Underneath the stairs, this is the riser and this is the tread right here. The riser is secured to the tread on the backside with nails or staples like this. When someone steps on the tread right here, the load is transferred to right here, but there's nothing supporting load right here, so this is allowed to flex inward. The treads are supported laterally on the riser. As you can see, it's routed out into the wood, so the load bearing surface is right here. On my stairs, there are shims between the tread and the riser where it's cut out, so the only supporting areas are right here and clear on the other side right here. There's nothing in the middle to support this load. So to fix this problem, I'm going to attach a mini riser connecting the tread to the bottom of this riser. That way when load is applied right here, it'll try to push down, but it'll be supported. Another common cause of squeaky stairs is this wedge right here might fall out over time. If it's fallen out, then this tread has nothing to support it, so it'll move like this every time you step on it. The solution is just to make some new wedges and coat them in wood glue, then drive them in to make sure this is solid again. Here's an example of a broken wedge. For this tutorial, you will need some screws, a drill bit, a drill, some 2x4s, a circular saw or a miter saw, and some wood glue. The first step is to cut a wedge along the length of your 2x4. I'm going to start roughly an 1/8 inch away from this corner right here, and it only needs to be about a 15-degree angle going upwards like this, and this is going to go along the entire length of your board. Mark right here where the long edge is, measure the distance from that to the end, and then draw a line across the length of your board. Next step, set your circular saw to roughly 15 degrees angled right here. So on mine, I just loosen it like this, set it to where I want. I lined up the arrow to 15 degrees. Then I just tighten it back down. To make the cut, I'm going to line up my 0 mark on the circular saw to the line I just made, and I'm going to go along the entire length of the board. Next up, we're going to measure off each little block of wood. I decided to use 2.5 inches wide. You could use whatever length you'd like. So I'm just going to quickly mark off my pieces, and then I'm going to cut them. Once you cut your pieces, you will need to cut your wedge piece at the same time. So I'm just going to hold it like this and cut across so I don't have to make an extra cut again on the wedge. Don't forget to set your circular saw back to a 90-degree cut, or else these will come out at angles. Now you should have a bunch of blocks with matching wedges. Now I'm underneath the stairs and it's time to pre-drill our holes. So what we're going to do is drill 2 holes in the block. It's going to go through the block and into the riser. It cannot go through the riser or else it'll come out on the other side. If you wanted these blocks to be completely symmetric, you would measure from here on the stringer to here and divide that into 3 and put a block at each spot where it's in the third. So you put one right here, in the center, and right here wherever you measured. I'm not going to measure anything because it's not too critical. I'm just going to eyeball it. It's important that you put the wedge angled like this, and this needs to be up against the tread above it like this. To make sure you don't drill all the way through to the other side of the riser, what I'm going to do is put your stud like this. This is the bottom of the riser right here. I'm going to get my drill bit and line up to where it would stop if I was drilling through. So you can see this pretty much goes to the very end of the riser, so I'm going to move my drill bit back in a little bit. And you see there is roughly a 1/4 inch gap, so I'm going to drill all the way through this. And it's going to go into the riser slightly and then stop. I can't drill anymore because it's going to hit right here. After you have set your drill bit, I'm going to mark it right here so I know exactly where I need to go without having to measure it again. So now I'm going to put this up at the top of the riser and then drill 2 holes right next to each other. Since my stairs are very old, this wood is already very brittle and I'm worried about it cracking. So instead of putting the nail right next to each other laterally, I'm going to move one up here so it's not anywhere near the same grain level. Before I drill the other hole though, I'm going to drive a screw through here so it'll hold it in place. Also, to further avoid cracking, I'm going to make sure my drill bit for the pilot hole is just smaller than the screw, so only the threads are digging into the wood. I'm going to put this up against and make sure it slides into that hole. Now I'm going to drill my second hole. Now I'm going to put my second screw in. Now it's time to apply the glue. So what I'm going to do is on the back side, on the part that contacts the riser, I'm going to put glue all over it. Then I'm going to screw it in. I'm going to wipe away any excess glue. Now I'm going to get my wedge piece, and with the flat side up like this, so it'll sit like this, I'm going to apply glue to both sides of the wedge now. Then I'm going to sit my wedge in there with the flat side up, push a little bit on it just to let it sit there. Then with some sort of blunt object, I'm going to put it right here, and with the mallet, just lightly hammer it in. It should raise this up as it wedges in there. I'm going to wipe away any excess glue. Then I'm going to repeat this step for all of the blocks on the treads. This is how one stair will look when you're done. I'm halfway through the staircase. I'm going to show you the difference both with the blocks and without the blocks. You can see that tread right there is where I stopped. And that is how you fix squeaky stairs. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe.
Okay. Steps on how to fix nails that go pop.
Crispy-licious, juicy-licious chicken joy.
With sweet sarap, jolly spaghetti, Jollibee perfect pair.
Try Enervon Active. More than immunity, it helps boost my energy and mental focus.
Welcome. This video is about nail pops, how do they happen, and how to fix them. Nail pops begin when the drywall is installed. The installer didn't notice that the nail only penetrated part of the stud and didn't get a good connection, or didn't notice that.
So, steps on the way to fix nails that go pop. Nail and screw pulse alignment caused by blunder shrinkage. To repair a pop nail or screw, start by bending the tip of the blade into the wall. Chop away the joint compound from the glass head. Utilize a screwdriver to tighten the screw, driving it well beneath the surface. On the off chance that this pop nail, utilize a hammer and nail set to tap it in a visual profound. But in the event that it feels as if the nail isn't hitting strong wound, yank it out with pliers and try in a dry worn screw, ensuring you hit the focal point of the wall stud or joist. Over the repair guy using a drywall knife, use thin layers of lightweight joint compound, stand between coats at a time, prime and paint. Instructions to eliminate water stains on the roof. How to remove water stains on the ceiling and take it back to white. Your first goal once you notice a brown or dark colored stain on the ceiling is repairing the source of water leak. Here are a few tips to support you. When the stain has been identified, let's go over the reason for the stain before making further moves. If the stain increases when it strains, it's probably a roof leak. Phone builder. If it gets also increases even in dry weather, it's probably leaking pipe. Phone number. A phone plumber. When a leak has been repaired, you continue to have the brown stain on the ceiling problem to repair. The stains don't disappear all alone, no matter whether you plan to repaint the roof later. Bleach and clean the region first to ensure the best result. Spread and ground underneath the territory. Be working in place on gloves and goggles. Make sure the room is extremely much ventilated. Mix 1 part bleach with 3 parts warm water. If you've got a color ceiling, use oxygen bleach instead of chlorine bleach. Soak a wipe in the mixture and mount a step ladder, then wipe the stain gently. Flush with another wipe, soak in clean water. At that time, try to reach with a towel. In that event, the stain is so far obviously to try to forgive overnight for them to cover up. Step-by-step instructions to eliminate water stains from ceiling with painting. It might want to repaint the ceiling and expect the best result. However, water stains will rarely begin appearing through new layer of paint on the off chance that they haven't been dealt with. This implies you'll have to cover water stains on the ceiling with a substance the water won't break down. Bleach the stains in steps above. In the event there is loose or flaking paint around the stain, eliminate it with a scrubber before bleaching. When the stains been bleached and dried, apply an oil-based undercoat over the stain, leave it to dry for the time being. If necessary, coat the stain with the paint again and let that dry. This should help to prevent the stain from peeking through. Pick up the paint or primer designed specifically for the purpose of covering stains. To achieve better coverage, use a stain block or stain sealant paint to get the best result. Check beforehand it's designed for use with water stains and follow the product instructions when applied. At the point when you've wrapped a